also who may be watching us on the live stream that I have sending out to X, YouTube, and Facebook. You're more than welcome to come join the conversation here on X. Just follow the link. If you are on X, just go to my profile. You'll find it. And you can come hang out with us. How you guys doing?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. I guess it's fixed.
What was broken?
The mic button, the mute button.
Oh, I don't know. You were on mic the whole time. I could hear you clicking.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I just was welcoming people here to the space. I don't know if you want to start the official intro, Christopher. And
yes, let's do that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Christopher Fryant, and this is AI Inferno, episode 113. And with me, as always, are my two wonderful co-hosts, Miss Cate Bligh and Mr. Rich Silver. Round of applause emojis for all of them, please. Outstanding. All right, Cate, what do we have on the agenda for today?
Well, we're going to dive into all the Sam Altman drama that has been just peppering X for the past 2 weeks. Well, I mean, it's been a lot more than that. It's been years of it, but it's been especially egregious maybe the past couple of weeks. So we're going to talk all about it. And, we tagged him in the space. Maybe he'll come and defend himself. You never know. Crazier things have happened on this platform. We're also going to talk about some things that are ChatGPT, OpenAI related as well, that kind of tie into his whole drama, and maybe some things that slipped under the radar, perhaps. And let's see, we're going to have some other updates from some of the AI model, text to video, video to or image to video, or whatever models that are out there, and some news about AI and copyright in the United States, which is very, very interesting. Plus more. Who knows what we'll get into. Everyone here is welcome to come up and grab a mic if you're interested in chiming in on any of these subjects. We're trying to keep it as related to, current events and what we like to express our opinions in this space. It's more of an opinion type of forum. So if you have opinions on any of these subjects, we'd love to hear it. And we're always open to debate. How's that? How's that for a summary of today's space?
It's wonderful. It sounds like we have a lot to talk about. And as always, to start things off, I ask a question to Cate. So, Cate, what goes on in a bachelorette party?
Well, I've only been to one, a real one anyway, that I somehow got invited through a friend of a friend, and I probably shouldn't have been there, to be honest. And the main activity was to attend a male strip show at like 6 p.m. in Boston.
My word.
So, yeah, I mean, more details you could, squeeze out of me, but
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got one anonymous listener. So in my headcanon, that's Sam Altman listening to us right now. So yeah, he probably wants. Oh no, he left. Oh my God, it really was Sam Altman.
Yeah, that's amazing. And he probably he must be married, or yeah, I wonder.
He's married.
So yeah,
guy. But did you have a stack of ones, Cate?
No.
Well, that was kind of a drawn out answer right there. I don't know if that's true.
The real horrific bit is because there's a few of we don't want to lose the audience, but any married men who want to know what went on, I'll happily tell you.
We might gain an entirely new audience if you keep going.
I don't know. Let's get into the Sama drama. And, if this subject comes up again, I'm happy to get into it. I mean, yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So the mic is maybe a little bit, twitchy. I can get it turned off sometimes, but not all the times. Okay, so this is the drama started with OpenAI. They had a announcement about the Stargate project, which intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years building new AI infrastructure for OpenAI in the United States. And I think this was supposed to be related to agents, but maybe it's more broad than that. Maybe it's just a big house with a bunch of GPUs stacked in the corner. I don't really know. So that was responded to by Elon Musk, and he said they don't actually have the money. And then Elon Musk responded to his own reply saying SoftBank has well under 10 billion secured. I have that on good authority. And then Sam Altman replies to that, wrong, as you surely know. Want to come visit the first site already underway? Question mark. This is great for the country. I realize what is great for the country isn't always optimal for your companies, but in your new role, I hope you mostly put American emoji first. So I'll copy that and put that down in the purple pill also, if you want to read that for yourself. I didn't put the actual like tweet in there because it's a bunch of replies that we can't actually link to.
Yeah, these two have a little bit of a history, so they're gonna go back and forth, and we're just gonna enjoy it because who doesn't love this kind of entertainment?
Yeah,
between two extremely rich people.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about X, right? We get front seat view of
all the drama,
things like this that go down.
I mean, I'm here for it, right? And Sam Altman actually had a good bit. I couldn't find the reply, but it was about something completely different, and he was like the first reply, and it was about some kind of other drama. And he's like, I hate public drama. So that was pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah, and we have like a lot of examples of him just adding to it, which is funny too.
Yeah,
because it's easy to just not reply, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. He's got kind of an ego going on. I think there's probably two very big egos going on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make the argument that it kind of makes sense, right? Like they're both like captains of their fucking industries, right? So it would kind of follow that they would have a big ego. Like, where do you go from where you are there? And like maybe Sam Altman's got somewhere to go. Elon Musk probably doesn't. I mean, he's the richest man in the world, basically without precedent. So I don't know where you go from there. Like, what can I strive for? He has to make up stuff to strive for, which is, that can lead to all sorts of things.
So I wonder what drove Elon just to make that comment at all, that they don't have the money. I'm
assuming he's got some line to be aware of that. Like he's got some kind of, information about it. Like either somebody gave it up to him automatically, because they heard about it, and he trusts the person, or, he's got, people everywhere for all I know. I don't know. I mean, he certainly has a lot of supporters. So, I mean, would it really be all that difficult for him to find like a source? I mean, the banks are probably falling all over themselves to be involved with anything Musk is associated with.
And Kate, do you have the link to that discussion? Because you shared a screenshot with us, and it looks like there's a proposed community note under his comment. I'm curious what that community note says.
Yeah, this is.
Ooh, I can get in there and try and find it if you guys, keep talking.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be something related to like, there's no evidence of that. They do this shit all the time on his posts. Like every post that he has, every reply that actually matters for anything. You've got people in the community notes that are like just very much biased against him.
Yeah, that's true. You do see that a lot, and you do see it a lot on his posts, like over and over again. And it's like it does look like he's being specifically targeted sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the biggest target on here, right? Who else are you gonna, like I don't know if he's the most followed, but he probably is, right?
When you first started talking about this and you said the $500 billion investment, you weren't sure if that was all for infrastructure or for AI agents. What did you mean about like AI agents?
I believe part of the project that they're funding here, the Stargate project, is related to OpenAI's making agents. Like maybe it's just the infrastructure for those agents. Okay, there it is. I saw this on a different post, so I don't know if that's accurate. That's just what I've heard.
Okay.
And I would ask AI about Stargate project, but it's probably just going to hallucinate the answer. And this is why we need
I got
AI.
that up there on the purple pill and pinned above for anyone that wants to do some further reading into that. And I can also do a quick little grok-a-doodle of it.
Grok
a grok-a-doodle.
I don't know what that means.
It means use grok.
Yes. To make an image?
No, to summarize it for me. So,
okay.
It gives you all the little bits of snippets about it. And oh my goodness. Okay. So I just grok-a-doodled this, and the first reference for the analysis of this post from OpenAI that is pinned up above is from @RealAlexJones. He is cited as the primary source of news for this information. We are the media now.
Clearly we are the media now. I'm trying to get to the. All right, trying to get to the purple pill without.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh boy. Don't rug the space now.
Okay. All right.
Easy.
Jesus Christ. All I'm trying to do is get to the purple pill on the phone so that I can hit this button and play
Oh,
Sam Altman. All right. I'm just going to send this to myself so that I can play this.
Oh, you want me to? Well, no, I can't play it. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it. It's fine.
Yeah, because this is from the. Let me pull it up here. So while you're doing that, I can say something. We have Sam Altman, advancing AI may require, quote, changes to the social contract, unquote. And also the entire structure of society will be up for debate and reconfiguration.
Yeah.
So this is taken from the AI for Good or something. What is this from?
It's from a talk with Sam Altman. I don't play the clip, but I saw it from Mark Andrews, and he just quote posted it and said absolutely not. So
you're gonna try and play this?
Yeah, I'm gonna play this through my very nice microphone. Here we go.
I still expect, although I don't know what, and this is over a long period of time. This is not a like next year or the year after, that kind of thing. But over a long period of time, I still expect that there will be some change required to the social contract, given how powerful we expect this technology to be. I'm not a believer that there won't be any jobs. I think we always find new things to do. But I do think like the whole structure of society itself will, be up for some degree of debate and reconfiguration. We are going to fight it.
Yeah. So there's Sam Altman sounding very, very revolutionary, talking about AI restructuring everything. And this kind of reminds me of like all the revolutionary talk around the Industrial Revolution, right? There's a kind of a similar thing going on there, and we're starting early now, so that's interesting. And that turned out really well for everybody who was a revolutionary around that time, and all their countries after that. That was a golden age, you might say, right?
Okay, I'm going to be maybe have an opinion on this. Okay, so if we want to compare it to, you said the Industrial Revolution and the rise of communism and stuff,
Yes.
like I think that time period, in that time, you can't compare it to now. You can't. Because the amount of poverty people were experiencing just on a day-to-day basis was just like on a whole nother level that you can't even relate to. And so people were either, they were pretty much forced into these factories that were incredibly dangerous, and that's a reality. And so that caused like a really huge chain reaction. So what did it mean in places where there was capitalism versus where maybe there's another way of doing this? And I'm not defending any of it really, but I kind of see why people compare the two, like now and that, but I really don't think it's comparable that much personally.
I see
just from that.
I see points of comparison. Obviously it's not the same, but I mean he's already coming out with this kind of rhetoric that's similar. I mean, I don't think
so like it'll work this time kind of deal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like a different technology. It'll be more altruistic. It'll be better for the proletariat. Everybody will be empowered. I mean, this is basically where we're going with this. It's going to be a new social contract. Does this not sound revolutionary to you? What about you, Rich? How are you feeling for this new revolution?
No, I mean, obviously it does. Like it is going to have a huge impact on our society. I mean, it definitely is. But I'm curious as to exactly what he means by, altering our social contract, because I think, he could have his own meaning of that, and other people could have their own interpretation of what that might mean. And so I actually asked AI while we were chatting, and it talks about like, work and employment, like job displacement versus job creation, the gig economy and AI labor, AI driven platforms that are redefining work. And then it talks about like privacy and surveillance, so like mass data collection, AI enabling governments and corporations to track and profile individuals more efficiently. And I guess that will probably become more of a norm. And so that kind of changes our societal contract a little bit if we all kind of give up a little more privacy to AI in exchange for a little more safety, potentially. And then so then it talks about the erosion of anonymity, with facial recognition, predictive policy and social credit scores and stuff like that. So that would definitely be a big change if AI kind of like calculated and tabulated our social credit scores, and somehow we were able to collect that information about one another and use that to determine how we interact with each other, especially when networking or potentially collaborating on. Big thumbs down. What do you think, Christopher?
I think no. I think that sounds great on its surface, but it leads immediately to like a clicky kind of thing where if you're not in with those people, you don't get the same scores that you get.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like, if you're in a room with one super connected person who everybody likes, who may not even be a good person, may be a good person, they're going to automatically get a higher credit score. So it's just going to be another circle jerk. But
well, and we kind of already see that, honestly, on X. When we see some big high profile names that have a lot of followers and connections, they'll like host a space or whatever, and they will just run off the mouth at like with just complete bullshit, and people will just come up there and agree with them because they kind of have that X social credit score and they don't want to disagree with that, obviously. So yeah, that just kind of brings that to the next level.
Yeah, on the subject of people losing their jobs for AI, I've saw this a lot in the software industry, and yeah, I think I can speak with some degree of experience to this. I saw a lot of people lose their jobs, not from just AI. In fact, I never saw that, but with just switching to a new technology. And rather than big corporations do this all the time, rather than just retraining people that have been there for years and are fully capable of switching over, even training on their own time, they just fucking fire them anyway. So I don't know if that's like a social contract thing. That's more of like, you could get the same thing going on in different types of societies. You can get, if it was like a communist society, they would be like, well, you're sorry that your job's taken by AI. It's time to go to the salt mines, like the same thing could happen because there's a fundamental lack of like value in that person and how much time they've been there, how hard they've been working. It's all about the bottom line at the end of the day. And it's very short-sighted, right? Like if you have somebody there for like 10 years and they're amazing at everything that they do, it would only make sense to just train them on this new thing and empower them. But it happens all the time. So I don't know that we need to rewrite the social contract. We just have to have values in general that are higher that are more than just short-term values. Yeah. So
okay, good rant.
Thank you.
I think this rolls into our next story pretty well, but I do want to say I've always been very optimistic about the AI, and again, we're more concerned about the people in control of it, right? That I think personally that if it's just kind of left to its own thing, yes, it's going to be a complete shit show at the beginning, but eventually it'll figure it out, sort things out, figure out what is actually best for society, the planet, all that stuff that we can't even friggin' wrap our heads around. So it's the human intervention, which is actually the issue, at least in my mind. So this kind of ties into a post from Kevin Weil, or Veal, depending where he's from, CPO of OpenAI, and BOD, I don't know what that is, of nature. That's the Nature Conservancy, I think. Yep. And Planet, some other country. So green guy. And he posted, today we're announcing ChatGPT Gov, a version of ChatGPT that government agencies deploy in their own MS Azure commercial or government cloud environment.
Yes.
Any thoughts on that, Christopher?
Okay, so I don't see much of a problem. Like if it's a walled off LLM that can't go reach out to the internet, is maybe saving all of its data and then immediately turning around and making it, available to the public. That could be great. I don't think it'll actually happen that way. I think it'll just be, just be a tool for the government to use behind closed doors, and that's fine. If they're using it to make decisions, the real question is who's doing that, and like the person between the AI and the actual policies making those calls, are they making the right calls? Are they even listening to this thing? Yeah, it's just like with artists and AI. Like, are they just letting it do whatever it wants to while they go on vacation, or are they actually taking an active role, building on it, on an idea, seeing the pitfalls, that kind of thing? It could be a very helpful tool to see that kind of thing, but I don't know if anybody, I would really expect anybody in government to actually do that. We shall see.
Yeah, my thoughts on this is it's just a locked off version of ChatGPT that government workers can use at work. So I think it could possibly be a good thing if it means that people are doing work more efficiently, whatever work they do have. All I hear about government agencies is that they actually don't do any work. So I don't know how much more efficient they need, but
yeah. And then we're also kind of trusting both Microsoft and OpenAI to not be tapping that in some nefarious way together,
and
working together.
And then new fear unlocked. I mean, is this baby steps to making it a utility?
I mean, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would argue that ChatGPT is currently a public utility, considering how deeply they are connected with the deep state right now. They have literally people in the NSA on their board, from the NSA on their board. So kind of early pull the trigger on that one.
Christopher, not only from the side of the AI that the governments or whatever are using might be collecting data from them, hand off to the companies that design these AIs. It could also be that the companies design these AIs with very specific biases, that can influences government's decisions, when they are making policies that are using, I don't know, I guess AI for decision making and stuff like that. Like, yeah, they could use it to influence.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if they could pre-prompt them, they could train it on only certain agendas, whether it be right or left or center, instead of just giving them everything. They could say, oh, this one's targeted for Department of Agriculture. Like, let's talk about how it's okay to sell everything to China or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, they could be very direct and targeted in the suggestions that the AI makes, and it could be done in a way that, I mean, if it's good enough that it's almost invisible, right? Like you're just kind of edging them in that direction, just pushing them a little bit in that direction.
Yes, exactly. Like a wife with her husband.
Yes.
Edging.
I was just gonna say,
edging along this. That's an actual phrase that has nothing to do with edging.
Or like, in the Dune series, how they all have like their Bene Gesserit witch and helping inform their decisions. Like, so all these companies are going to have their witch of an AI that kind of helps inform their decisions, while in fact, they're all kind of corroborating together to control the world.
Yep. And small. I mean, if you're going to do it, that's probably the best way to do it, right? Like, just like very very invisible. Just push them along just a little bit in the direction, and hope that they continue to go in that direction. That's probably the best way to do it. It's not like, like James Bond 70s type stuff.
It's funny that you said, yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, Hollywood's been doing it for years, so in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a cat that I stroke in a very large chair, so maybe I'm with them.
And to round out the excitement here with OpenAI and Sam Altman, just all this great news. There was a fun one that I wanted to throw in the mix here that made me laugh. On X, the guy, Derek Guy, who does the menswear posts, and I know not everyone sees his posts, but it was hilarious because he roasts celebrities quite a bit. And he roasted Sam Altman for his outfit he wore on, I'm not sure where this was. It's something official. And let me make sure I can read this correctly. Why not just, critique the man's outfit as well? But what I like about this the most is that he compared him to Wallace of Wallace and Gromit fame, which I've been saying he looks like a claymation character. That's my impression of Sam Altman has always been he's some sort of claymation character from Wallace and Gromit or Shaun the Sheep or one of these. Chicken Run was another one.
You just want to go down the list of like, you want to talk about the California raisins next?
No. Come on now. That's not even close. It's not the same style. It's a certain vibe.
Why don't
these
you
movies have.
take his image, import it to AI, and then create what you think he looks like?
So yeah, I guess the question is he actually AI? Is he just like?
Yeah, he's a claymation version, AI clay man.
He's like the best version of an Optimus bot that we have. Like Zuck was version 1. This is version like 12.
So if I ever get a chance to maybe get a picture next to Sam Altman or something, I'm going to kind of like grab his arm a little too tight and see if my hands just squish right in like Play-Doh.
Yes.
Yeah. But what was funny about the exchange with Derek Guy was Jack Altman, which I don't know who that is. Maybe it's his brother, Altman's brother or something or whatever, quote posted it, the comparison and him making fun of his brown shoes with the navy suit. And said, yeah, look at this nerd. And then Sam Altman said, excuse me, and replied, of course, now drawing like an unneeded amount of attention to this. And then Derek quote posted that and said, Sam Altman, oh yeah, menswear gay, clicks publish on some code. And then me loses my job to AI. So I thought that was a great exchange.
It's a very brotherly thing to do.
Yeah. So a little bit of fun. But again, like it is all part of this. Like he's kind of, if he could just not respond and no one would have seen it probably. But yeah, just by replying, he made it, skyrocket and go viral.
I think he's kind of playing along with that. Like I'm gonna drop him the bone here and sorry.
Yeah, that's he's making a 1/4 scale model of the SpaceX launch site.
Yeah, no, this is my dryer. This is the washer unit going insane because it's about to explode. Anyway, so yeah, I think he's just kind of playing along. I think he's aware that if he comments on anything, it's going to blow up.
Yeah, no, I know he's aware of that, but it's just humorous to me. And after, let's see, was there anything else? Oh yeah, then o3 dropping. So o3-mini came out yesterday and it is available as far as I know today to everyone. So even if you don't have a paid account, you can log into OpenAI and play around with this brand new model for free. So I encourage you to check it out. Like if you have interest in AI at all, I always say or suggest, check out these tools, see what they're doing, see if it works for you or it's something that could help your workflow and experiment with it. And then about it, right? So that's my suggestion. And I tried it a little bit and I found a couple use cases that might be helpful for my client work, which is always what I'm trying to make easier or improve on. But one thing that was posted last night was Sam Altman said, we've got one more o3-mini goodie coming for you soon. I think we saved the best for last. So we can speculate on what that is.
Voice mode, maybe, because it's a mini model. Do you think? Yeah, it's a faster model, so that would be my first thought.
Yeah, that's possible. What do you think, Rich? What do you think he'll give us a little bonus goodie with o3-mini?
Like, I kind of lost part of the conversation. I apologize. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, so o3 dropped right yesterday. So that Sam Altman said that there's something else coming with it soon, and he says he saved the best for last. And we're just speculating on what that could be.
Could it be like video generation or something?
What?
Like, is that possible?
Well, that's Sora.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
Come on, man. Rich, get with it.
Well, if you could do it within Chat GPT, like, and not have to go to Sora, but then there's no point.
I mean,
there's no point in that.
No, well, you could have a conversation with it if you're just doing tech. Well, Yeah, I mean, it's an okay interface. That wouldn't be terrible, I don't think. I think a lot of people would actually use that.
I think so too, because but I don't know what could it be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was wondering maybe if there was another like new version of DALL-E coming out that is built inside of it, maybe. But I like the idea of a voice mode in there. If it's even more advanced, like double advanced.
Extra advanced. It's 06 now. 06-mini.
Double secret advanced mode.
It's starting to begin to sound like anime titles. Like it's like 20XDX 66. Sam
Yeah,
Altman.
he also replied to somebody that they're going to work on the naming problem, so they are aware of it.
Yeah, nobody's going to look down that list, and I even haven't starting having trouble with it, where it's like 01 is not the same as 01. It could have been anything. Well, I don't know why they parted from like the numbering convention to begin with. They could have just, if they wanted to make it clear that it's a big leap, they could just skip a few numbers and they're good, right? It's like an internal thing, I bet that's what's going on there. They have all these branches going on, and then they just go with a name that the branch is called instead of, putting a marketing layer on top of that. So it's typical autist behavior.
Yeah, so because right, was it yesterday? Yeah, we had a little mini like fun spun up in an AI space yesterday, and was it you or Rich that was like confused with 4.0 versus
04?
Or no,
and 4.0 and 04, and not even
04, 03, 03
versus 04
Okay.
or something like that.
01. Okay, yeah, 4. I'm confused. Now you know this. So 4.0, right, was the last model. Then we had during the Christmas celebration was the 12 days of Christmas or whatever was 01 dropped. And then now it's 03-mini.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, hold on. Well, because 04 there was GPT 4.0 mini. Didn't 4.0 mini come out before 4.0? Because that's still available. And then now I see available GPT 4.0 with scheduled tasks, and that's in beta.
Yeah, that's in the beta for the Plus users. You can we briefly touched that. I haven't really experimented with it yet, but that's why we haven't really talked about that one.
So maybe that's the thing. It's scheduled tasks for 03-mini.
Or operator would be great. I think that would be something really cool to put in for Plus users. That would be a bonus goodie for sure. I would love that. I want to play around with that so bad.
Yeah. That's still working from an API, right? Like you can't just put that in your computer.
No, you open up ChatGPT. You open up ChatGPT website, and you just do it. It does. It's in the ChatGPT. You just tell it like go to Facebook, and like I watched a video of this guy like starting a business on Facebook, like and ChatGPT did it all. And
so it's still within a walled garden. You can't use it to like drive your computer.
Yeah, it'll go to Facebook. Like you'll watch it. It'll go to your Facebook as long as you're logged in. It'll search Facebook Marketplace, and then you can tell it like message people about any item that you find that's like specific. This was just the example that the guy was using, but it really illustrates it pretty well. And so then it would type up a message about the product when he finds it, and then ChatGPT says, do you want me to send this message? So it won't send messages or anything until you approve it, but it'll do everything up until that point. And they did like buying tickets to show that you have to click like pay, and it won't do those actions that I guess.
And how do you access this?
It's operator. It's in the $200 plan.
Oh, okay, the one that I don't have.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That would be super cool if that was the goodie, the bonus goodie would be, but it has to do with 03, so I doubt it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. So what do we got next?
Let's see. So Halio.
That's it. Hayo. Text to video 01 director text to video model. And yeah, I tried it out. I don't know if I had a chance to do it in the early access, but it's basically their model, Hayo's model, but with much better camera controls. In fact, maybe too much camera control, because all the previews that we've been seeing are the cameras just going wild, like sweeping shots, rotating shots. Most of them are drone shots because I think people are picking that because it's, like an easy way to show, like the extremes. Like you could probably use it just for like a simple like zoom in, zoom out, pan left, pan right, that kind of thing. But it seems to handle it much better. And you can do dynamic things. You can do multiple camera controls in the text and it'll handle it pretty damn well. So it's fun to play around with that. I have an example I'll put up, which is me. I didn't mention this in the actual tweet, or in the post, but I put in every camera control that they had just to see what it would do, and it just kind of averaged them out, I think. So it's like sweeping to the right, and then there's a crane up, and then it's like a drone over kind of shot, which I know is probably meaningless to your average person. So just look at the image on the Jumbotron or in the purple pill, and you'll see it.
So the video with the giant duck destroying the city, that's the one where you used all the different controls in one prompt?
Yep, all of them. Just to see what I was hoping it would just do something really weird, but I guess it just kind of averaged it out or ignored them after like the first one or first two.
Yeah, it came out really cool though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it looks like CGI. I mean, it's a little twitchy. It's a little weird, but I mean, all in all, it's pretty close to some of the best models out there. Very colorful, very dynamic, and there's some occlusion going on there where the giant duck goes behind a skyscraper and then see him again, and it's the same duck. And that's good. That's a good sign. Call it the duck test. It's the new Will Smith. Is it the same duck?
Is this the new AI video model that the Alibaba released? Didn't Alibaba just release one?
What?
Yeah, that was Quen.
Oh, Quen. Okay.
I haven't tried that one yet. I don't know much about that one.
There's so many out there. I'm just wondering, like, at what point do creators, people who actually use these on the daily, to actually make money with their creations and stuff, when does somebody just decide, I'm just going with this one, or I'm just going with this two, I'm going to stop trying all these new ones? Or do you just keep trying all the new ones as they come out? Like,
absolutely always try the new ones, and probably just stick with whichever one gives you the best quality and is consistent and doesn't strip the style. That's a problem I've had with Runway recently, where it's like I don't even want to get into it with a serious project because it'll screw with the light levels, and it makes any other thing that I do with it just kind of pointless.
So you think we're just going to keep, as these new companies come out and as they keep like leapfrogging each other with their updates and everything, we're just going to have to keep bouncing around from one to the other to use the best one available for, our needs?
Well, you don't have to. And I think eventually there's going to be like a general homogenization of all of the top ones. And then it's going to be more of a pricing thing, or it's going to be a features thing. Like this one can handle 30 seconds right off the bat, or whatever it is, better camera controls versus quality and prompt adherence.
Okay. I keep wondering, and hopefully this isn't, this is kind of off topic, but I do keep wondering is, how far are we off, like maybe a year, 2 years or whatever, from somebody taking, the video creation AI models and, combining them with the LL, which is already sort of going on in the background whenever we prompt them, but having it somehow go out to like a live 24/7 stream of just AI generated videos and AI generated stories, like almost like the AI TV show channel. And it's like where the AI just nonstop 24/7 is just like producing its own stories, its own videos to go along with. That'd be kind of interesting, but I think
I've seen that before, or at least I've heard about it, people trying that kind of thing, and it works, but there's not a lot of interest in it outside of just like a novelty.
Yeah, because if it does eventually work pretty well, then it's just gonna destroy all of our creativity. I don't know. I don't like the idea of that, but I have been thinking about that.
I mean, it's got some interesting implications, which is that if you write enough and you set up a story enough and you want something to be interactive, I mean, that is a way to do it, right? Make it dynamic, set up your characters, and make sure that they've got a consistent look all the time. And give them guardrails to make sure that they wouldn't do things that they normally wouldn't do, and then have a person actually drive the action in some way. I mean, that'd be an interesting experiment. The question is whether or not people would be interested in actually pursuing that and like seeing, I think if it's wild enough and it's weird enough, people will be into it just based on the novelty of it. But I don't know how long that'll last.
So kind of like your idea of these, looking to the future, these AI models will have a special look that we are reminiscent of, and people will be wanting to achieve those looks, which I have already caught myself in the past month, trying to create something that was unfinished from like 6 months ago. I had a hard time. I actually couldn't generate the same thing, the same look that I had generated back then. It was impossible. So your post, is a funny one, but it's real. It's the reality of it, and it's probably going to be faster than 20 years.
Yeah, it could be like 5 years once they kind of top out and they're like, okay, so this could be anything. It could be CGI, it could be real video. It's going to get to that point where we really can't tell, and I think we're already pretty close to hitting that mark. Although I'm sure some haters would disagree with that, but I mean, you can do the same thing with CGI, where you screw something up and you get like the Scorpion King, The Rock from that movie, and it just looks off. And that was something that people spent a lot of time on, right? So I think, yeah, I think we'll get to the point where, and coming very soon, where you're not going to be able to tell the difference between it if people don't say it.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, I wonder about the different models, where they'll go, like which will they merge? Will ones just vanish? I mean, if their proprietary technology or their proprietary models do have some sort of value because they're different than the others, and how they all will like fit together, or they'll stand alone on their own. I mean, if they're all kind of trying to achieve the same thing, I think it's just kind of a race to that one spot at the top. And then there will be, I think, a lot of niches underneath that will definitely need to be filled. So I am curious how that's all going to like fall into place, in the next few years. Because, yeah.
Undoubtedly, we'll see a few of them disappear just based on, jockeying for position. Some people, there's going to be lost interest as they fall behind. They're maybe not able to catch up with the best tools, and then they kind of fade away. Absolutely.
All right. With that, we talked about the Hayo news with their new Hayo. And then there was also Luma had some news recently that was pretty good too. Some pretty cool game-changing stuff.
Yeah, so we've got 1080p output for their new Ray 2 model. They've got 4K upscaling. They've got around 10-second generations. I think some of them cut off a little early, but up to 10-second generations, and that's looking pretty good. So yeah, props to them. I don't know, can Sora even do 4K? Does it upscale to 4K?
I don't think so.
Maybe if you pay $200 a month.
That might be true. No, I think 1080 is the 400, because I can do 480 or whatever and then 720, but I can't do 1080.
That might be a new feature or maybe it's a paid feature, and because I got the upgraded, I have the enterprise plan, so it might be a pro feature.
Well, what?
Yeah, I have the enterprise plan.
Of Sora?
No, of Luma Labs.
Oh, okay. Well, we were talking about Sora's, what was in there, so that's what I was saying.
I do not know. And I don't know.
I was saying you can generate 480 or whatever it is and 720, and I think the 1080 is in the $200 a month plan for Sora.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right.
So Luma's winning that race there.
Yeah, they're giving you more for your money for sure.
Yep.
Well, and I think Luma they're starting to bite at like the heels of like Midjourney a little bit with their image generation. Like I love their image generator now. Like I think it's working really, really well, especially when you feed it reference images like I've been doing with our profile pictures and stuff like that to create like our spaces banners that I've done, and some other images that I've shared with you guys. Some of them come out pretty funny looking, but they're great. It's doing a really good job. So I'm interested to see what other further, developments they bring in terms of like their image generator, and hopefully have some sort of like in-image editing and stuff like that, and maybe even with like the video. Wouldn't that be amazing to be able to spin up a video and then just edit little details within that video and then have it respin up that video, just excluding or adding to it based on your edits?
Absolutely. And we were talking about these companies jockeying for position. I think it's possible they could have one model that's just like the end all. It's amazing. Everybody loves it, but people will still pay for a worse model if it has less guardrails on it. And I think we'll start seeing that more and more. Like that's their one selling feature that differentiates them, is that you can make whatever you want.
Yeah, I've been seeing some good zombie content coming out of Luma with the Ray 2. I think Marco may have posted some, because like I've had this really good zombie flick idea for quite a while, and I just haven't done it yet because I haven't been very happy with the results of what I get whenever I prompt for zombies and gore and stuff like that. But yeah, it's starting to get better.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, as the competitiveness of it all is great. It's all good. And every one of us here, we remember the early internet days, and it was crazy, all the stuff that was going on. And a lot of stuff was kind of maybe not given a chance. So there was a little bit of competitive nature, right, and stuff, but it seemed like certain things just kind of got picked, and that was the way it went. So seeing how things are playing out now, there's a lot of choice still, even though it's been a few years of this stuff. So that, I think that's promising and only good for the innovation of everything.
Absolutely. It's getting to the point where it's kind of hard to keep up. Like I just heard about Gwen or whatever. Yeah, that new model. I guess I'm not. There's so many out there that I can't keep up with all, and I can't test all of them all at once unless they come to me. And even then, I might not have time for it. Unfortunately, I want to try them all. I got to catch them all.
Yeah. And I was thinking actually when we started this space is we should keep an AI Inferno like list or something of like all these tools, like maybe a Google Doc or something like that available for us. That way we can add these new ones as we discover them.
Yes, absolutely. What's going on in the YouTube chat right now? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm dropping the image in there. But like, we appreciate everyone who's watching on YouTube. There seems to be a few people there watching, so thanks so much for watching.
Thank you to all the gooners.
It's great to see you out there, and you're welcome to click through the pinned link and join us here and actually chat with us if you want to. We'll be talking for a little bit longer. I do want to get to the news about the copyright. I think that's probably the biggest news, like actual real news, that's pretty relevant for all of us here in the United States anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to give us a rundown of what the messaging was and where did it come from?
Yeah,
that's big news.
Well, it came from the U.S. Copyright Office, so you can't get more official than that. And I will share the link to the actual documentation from copyright.gov. I'll put that down in the purple pill, but I kind of can't do three things at once. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's the most important stuff in there. AI generated content alone cannot be copyrighted. There must be meaningful human creative input, which is a great point. And that's true for any copyrightable work. It has to have meaningful human creative input. And again, that's very vague and gray language, if you will. And that's intentional, so that you, as the person owning the copyright of something, you have an argument to make, and as well as the person who wants it, if you are being come after for the copyright, you have something to stand on, right? So you both can have an argument, and that is the whole point of these laws. It's not to just protect one person, it's to protect both sides of things, because as artists, we can be on both sides of that argument, both sides of the copyright law, meaning we may be infringing, and we could have our work stolen. So you never want to think that you're immune to either of those things. As someone who's creating content, especially on the internet, you just, it's a hard life. And then, writing prompts is not copyrightable. So that's copyright. That makes sense to me. A prompt, You could probably look into trademarking a prompt, possibly, but I don't know how you could enforce that.
And what would
Because
be the point? Because depending where you use that prompt, the output's going to be different, or the time of day.
the only thing that it would be like if someone made a PDF guide of prompts, like with a bunch of prompts, and this is what they do, this is what I use, and was selling that, that's you could copyright that, because if someone took that and then just printed it out and then sold it,
As like
right?
a completed work, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that's where that line is. But, just a line of text can't be copyrighted. Also, using AI as a tool as part of a larger process does not prevent copyright protection. So people were making this argument, if AI was used at all, then something's not being able to be copywritten, which is ridiculous. Because then what do you do with all digitally altered works? It's like that's an insane point of dispute. Like someone who doesn't understand anything, and you can copyright the human created parts of a work that use some AI elements, and then no new laws are needed right now to handle these issues. And I agree, because all these things that the main takeaways here stated in this post really are kind of the fundamentals of it and apply to everything. So, business as usual, but people will still try and argue and argue and argue about it.
Yeah, I think no new laws are actually needed. I don't think. I think what's needed is policy, and they made their policy clear, and then precedents set by people being able to gain copyrights. I think that's how it's worked in the past with new media, and I think that's what we'll see here. And that's totally fine. We don't need new regulations. Regulations are only going to complicate things.
Yes, and
How does this?
I was just going to say, I posted down the purple pill below for anyone who's interested. You can get the actual official document, and you can put that into ChatGPT or whatever, and ask it questions.
My question is like, how does this affect like AI generated videos and music and stuff like that versus like AI generated images and artwork? Because for some images and artwork, it is a single prompt. Some people obviously, and it could be like it could be that you prompted one image and then use that image to create another image, and so on and so on to get to your final output. Or it could just be a single prompt, and you could potentially argue in court that I spent a lot of time creating that prompt. It's meaningful, it's very personal to me and my experiences and this and that. So would this apply to just a single image, or does this mostly apply to like video and stuff like that?
No,
Well,
images
you could
too. Yeah, absolutely. Because it doesn't matter what brush you used. It doesn't matter what color paint you use, is the final painted canvas an original work. So the prompt would be the paintbrush. You're not going to copyright the paintbrush, right? You're going to copyright the canvas. So that's what explains that.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been doing this for like over 2 years. I've been working with some of the same prompts and remixing them, and putting them in new context and mixing different styles just to see what comes out of it, and moving that forward. Like there's prompts that I've had for like over a year that I've been evolving, and I would call that part of the process for making that final image. Any image that I make with that process, but I just type out a bunch of random stuff. Obviously, that's not really the same thing. And well, I guess you could make an argument that that's like somebody, with like modern art, just slapping paint on a canvas.
Yeah.
Of course, that is totally copyrightable. So interesting that, see a lot.
Yeah, I think somebody's going to argue it to the point where, it is just like, what? I don't know. I think there's a lot of room for interpretation.
Well,
there
the thing
because
is,
of
it
the way
doesn't.
they use that
None of
language.
none of this matters until someone wants to sue somebody, right? So, we can talk about this all day long, but if you painted a red canvas and framed it and sold it for $50,000, but it turns out 20 years ago someone did that first, and it was copyrighted, now it's a problem. But if no one else gives a shit, it doesn't matter. And the red square NFT pixel, that's already now an original work because no one did it before and sold it. So now that's the original work, right? So, or can someone come back who was the first person to create like MS Paint and printed out a red pixel on a printer? I don't know, like that's, but that
Or
person would
whoever.
have to sue for the damages, and now there has to be some sort of monetary loss as well. So it's just a mess, guys, but it doesn't matter if someone sues somebody, really.
Yeah. Well, clearly we've solved this. So do we want to wrap up the space?
Yeah, I think so. That was a really good discussion.
I feel good about this. I feel like we've solved all of AI's problem, including all of Sam Altman's problems. So I would like to thank both of my co-hosts here, Mr. Rich Silver and Miss Cate Bligh. Thank you for coming. And do you guys want to say anything before we wrap it up?
Yes, I would like to say, please support our content. We're trying to create a lot of content here on X and elsewhere through podcast formats, videos on YouTube, also here on X, trying a lot of different things, spaces and things like that. And the best way you can support us, if besides showing up and showing your support and, reposting, leaving comments and stuff, we appreciate all of that. You can also use our special link to try Luma Labs. If you haven't tried Luma Labs yet, it's a text to video and image to video model. It's one of our favorites that we use here. So that's when we had the opportunity to be affiliated with them in some way. Definitely jumped on that. So up above in the Jumbotron, you will find the link for that. And also down in the purple pill below, or wherever you're watching this video, you should be able to find the link to give that a try. And we hope you like it and hope you share with us what you create with it. We love seeing what people do. And, that's what this space is all about. We just like getting more information about AI out there for everybody. And we want you to use it. Besides that, next Saturday, we'll be having a recording of our second episode of AI Inferno Reacts, where we will react to your AI video creations. And I'll be picking from a list of AI submissions on Christopher's X feed. So you can go there and find it.
It's also in the Jumbotron and in the purple pill. Drop your videos in that post.
Perfect. Yes. Drop them there. I'm going to go through and select them. So, if you say something nice about me, you have a better chance of getting picked. And yes, I will present them to Christopher. He'll react to them live, give his honest reactions, maybe a little bit of a critique. If you have specific things you want him to look at or ask about, who knows, you might get a chance to have a real deep conversation about your favorite AI film or video that you've put out recently and get lots of exposure. People really loved the first video we did last weekend. So that will be coming out next Saturday. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're in the video, we will tag you. So make sure you pay attention for that and you can share it, showcase it to your friends and family and all that fun stuff. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that'll be Saturday, February 8th, same bat time, same bat channel. So thank you everybody for coming, and we will see you all later.